German fans, get ready, buckle up. This one's going to be fun. Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Goldfine and Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlaybookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Sports Podcast. This is Nate coming back at it with another Miami Dolphins preview video. This week, Miami Dolphins have already made the trip over to Germany as they will be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs at 8:30 Central Time Sunday morning. Let's talk about it. Both teams coming into this game 6-2, tied atop the AFC along with Baltimore and Jacksonville with the best record. Miami coming off of a pretty clean victory over the New England Patriots, completing the season sweep in a game that saw a return of Jalen Ramsey to the field as he made his presence felt with a pick, was hardly targeted all game. It was really good to see him out there. Looked every bit the part of an elite corner. Kansas City coming off of maybe one of the most disappointing losses, probably the most disappointing loss since last year's Colts loss, as they lose to Denver, and that's the first time anybody can say that since 2015. Crazy stat for you. The Denver Broncos have won a Super Bowl more recently than they had beaten the Kansas City Chiefs prior to Sunday. That's insane. Mahomes played through some illness that popped up, kind of maybe the flu, not totally sure on what happened there. But they looked rough against a Denver team that has been beat up all season. Mahomes, no touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. A rough game from them, which can scare some people because they're going to be angry. That doesn't concern me as much. But it will be interesting to see how they try to rebound from a tough loss. Let's look at the injury reports. I will pop them up on the screen for you here. We'll start with the Miami Dolphins. And quick disclaimer, I am recording this early in the week. So I'm working with incomplete information, right? So if I'm talking about somebody who may miss the game because he didn't practice on Wednesday, well, I didn't see him practice on Wednesday. I don't know what he's going to do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, okay? Leave me alone. Don't yell at me in the comments, please. But let's start. Miami. Robert Hunt is really the big one I want to mention on the list up here. Him not practicing makes me a little bit concerned. Hopefully Robert Jones is the one who steps in at one of the guard positions. He will be, but what we really need is Connor Williams to go and Tron Armstead to go, and then we'll figure it out. But would love it if Robert Hunt can go. He's considered day-to-day with a hamstring injury. And just with how banged up our offensive line is, man, it's hard to see him out. Promising news for the Dolphins on the defensive front, though. Xavier Howard has come out and said he's going. Javon Holland has cleared concussion protocol. He is going. We will have a full-strength defense for the first time all season. I cannot wait to watch that. Oh, it's going to be so fun. Jalen Ramsey on one side, Xavier Howard on the other, Kader Kohu in the slot, Nick Needham in there. We're going to have Holland. We should hopefully have Deshaun Elliott back. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure Deshaun Elliott's going to be back. Brandon Jones is a little banged up, but he's a rotational safety, so we should have our full starting defensive 11 out there together for the first time. Can't wait to see that. And Tron Armstead may be back as well. Would be awesome. He's been reactivated off of IR, so his 21-day window has started. Will he play? We'll see. Let's talk Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, they're missing Nick Bolton, their starting middle linebacker, one of the best middle linebackers in football, as he is out on IR, so he cannot play. But when you look at players not on IR and just players who are able to play, because technically he's not missing a whole lot. Willie Gay didn't practice, but he's more likely than not going to go. Their injury list is a lot smaller than the Dolphins. Let's talk X factors, and I'm very vanilla with these this week. They're just obvious. At least 3 of the 4 I think are obvious in my opinion. First off, let's start Miami on offense. It's got to be Tyreek Hill, right? Has to be. First ever player to go to 1,000 yards through his first 8 games since 1961. First time in Super Bowl era. He's unstoppable. They're doubling him and he's just splitting them easily. He's well on pace for the first ever 2,000-yard season. And for the Miami Dolphins to continue to produce at this high level on offense, he has to be the focal point. They have to go through him. And even if the ball isn't necessarily going to him, he commands so much attention. And it was such a perfect example of that this weekend on Jalen Waddle's touchdown, right? Tyreek Hill goes in motion across the field, goes up. Both corner and safety decide, nope, I got Tyreek. We can't let him beat us. And Jalen Waddle's like, hey, I am butt naked open here. And he threw his hand up immediately into his, just saw a great video on Tua spinning it to him and walking off the field before he even scored. Because he's like, yeah, that's 6, baby. Awesome play. Love that video. But it's Tyreek. He's arguably the MVP of the entire NFL right now. Most dangerous man with the football in his hands in the planet. Guy's insane. Has to be. First game against the Chiefs, too. Kind of a grudge match here. It'll be fun to watch how they go against each other. For the Chiefs offensively, again, it has to be Travis Kelce. I'm not going to go quarterbacks, but it has to be Travis Kelce, right? They don't have any other pass catchers that scare you. Rashee Rice is a nice rookie. Sky Moore is a case of the drops. Kadarius Toney, case of the drops. They just don't have, Marquez Valdez-Scantling hardly's on the field. Mecole Hardman's out here muffing punts. They don't have anybody that freaks you out outside of Travis Kelce, which makes you think, oh, well, that's who you triple team. Doesn't matter. He's that good. He's a real problem. Now, the real question that I'm sure everybody's wondering is, will Taylor Swift be at the game? I don't know. I hope not. I'm pretty sure she won't be, but what do I know? She may hop on a jet over to Germany for the game. For some reason, I know it doesn't matter. Guys, I know it doesn't matter. They score a lot less points when she's not there, and Travis Kelce performs a lot worse when she's not there. It's weird, but it's one of those things. I'm not going to ignore it, but I'm also going to ignore it. You know what I mean? But he's a monster. Travis Kelce is so good, and he's their only reliable guy. So if their offense is going to move the ball, it's going to go to Travis Kelce. Defensively, coming back from injury, I'm going with the Dolphins' X factor, Xavier Howard at corner. Jalen Ramsey's side was hardly even touched last week. Mac Jones had no interest in throwing the ball against him, and it showed why when Jalen Ramsey made a super athletic play to make that pick. So they went at the other side. Now Xavier Howard's going to be on that side. Can he step up and make it so that way? Now, what side are you going to throw it to? There's no side to throw it to. Is he going to return to the X who just gets pick after pick after pick? I hope so. There's no real receiver on this Chiefs team. There's no alpha. There's no Devontae Adams over there. There's no Cooper Kupp. There's no guy that you're like, shit, maybe Ramsey should follow him. So we can afford to split him up and go side and side, which means Xavier Howard's side will definitely be thrown at more than Jalen Ramsey's side. It's just simple. So I need him to step up and be X. He needs to be the X-Man this weekend. For Chiefs, shocker, I'm going with another All-Pro. Chris Jones, defensive lineman. He's an actual game wrecker. He is unbelievably talented. If Connor Williams doesn't play or Robert Hunt doesn't play, that is a backup offensive lineman going up against one of the best defensive tackles in football right now. He can ruin the entire game for us. They will get manhandled by Chris Jones if it's a backup. Connor Williams stands a fair fight. Even Connor Williams and Robert Hunt, if they're both out there, that's still a tough matchup for those two guys, man. Even if you double him, he's a real problem. If he's able to push the pocket up the middle, much like the Bills did and the Eagles did, this is going to be a long day for the Miami offense. Got to be able to hold up the middle of that pocket, and Chris Jones is a problem. He could be an issue for us. We got to find a way to neutralize him as best as we can. Let's talk 5 keys to a Miami Dolphins victory. Number 1, first time I've used this one, I think, trust the system. Like I said earlier, this defense, this is potentially, if everybody plays, this is potentially the first time that this defense will be fully healthy, all on the field together for the first time. This is the defense that Vic built. This is his vision, finally on the field together. Trust the system. Know your role. Know your assignments. And show the world how good that this side of the ball can be for the Dolphins, because that's everyone's question. It has been all season. Yeah, that offense is historically good, but can that defense slow down a good offense? Now's your chance. You've got the guys. You've got the system. Make it happen. Trust the system. Don't overextend yourself. Do your job. Do your job. Number 2, contain Patrick Mahomes. A lot easier said than done, I know. But you know when Mahomes is his most dangerous? Is when he's scrambling, when he's running around in the backfield, getting outside of the pocket, making off-time plays. That is when he is the most dangerous quarterback. That's why he's one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen, is because of his ability to do that, do the off-schedule stuff. He's so good at it. If you let him just start running around the backfield, man, look out, because eventually a receiver will get open or Travis Kelce will get open, and those are just chunk plays waiting to happen. You've got to contain him. I'm talking to you, Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. You've got to contain him on the outside. Do not let him start the scramble drill, because it's a real problem when he does. Number 3, again, a regular on the list here. Keep Uno upright. Keep Tua clean. You want to win the game? Don't let him get sacked more than twice. You want to lose the game, let them get sacked a bunch. That's just how it goes. Eagles sacked, in the 2 losses, we have 7 sacks, and in the other 6 games, 5 total sacks. If we hold the Chiefs to 2 or less sacks, love our odds. If they're getting to Tua all day and it's throwing off the timing of this offense and he can't trust that he can drop back and make a couple reads before he has to throw the ball, we're in trouble. Plain and simple. It's rung true every single week this year. Number 4, no turnovers. Tua, my man, you're crushing it this year. 18 touchdowns, 7 picks, 2,400 yards through 8 games. Only quarterback in the NFL averaging over 300. I could really do without the interceptions, man. I gotta level with you. Last one, the Patriots may have disguised it well. It sure looked like you threw the ball right to Kyle Duggar. You can get away with that against the New England Patriots. You cannot get away with that against the Kansas City Chiefs. You can't. You cannot give them more possessions to score points, okay? Play smart. Trust the system, but don't blindly trust the system, right? Like, it's good that you have so much faith in the system that you can throw it to a spot, and there's a Dolphins receiver there waiting for it to go. But sometimes it isn't going to work, right? So let's just play it a little safer and do not give this offense any more chances to hurt you than they're already going to get. And number 5, do I even have to say it anymore? It is this week. It is last week. It will be every single week. Run the damn ball. Running game, not sparkling great last week against the Patriots. 46 yards for Raheem Mostert, did have a rushing touchdown. I attribute that to the injuries up front. We were getting our guys back. Control the tempo of this game. Keep the Chiefs' offense on the sideline where they cannot hurt you. Okay? Run the ball behind your big boys. Mostert, north and south. Please, don't be dancing in the backfield. We're so close to getting Devon Achane back. I cannot wait to see him play football again for us. But right now, it's Mostert, it's Wilson. I don't want to see Salvon Ahmed anymore. That experiment's over. We can move on. But I need the guys to get the ball moving on the ground. You force those safeties to hesitate just for a second, like the Patriots game. That safety hesitated because it's a play action. He's got a run fit that he has to fill. It's his assignment. And then he drops back when he sees it's a pass. If you get them to hesitate, if they have to be honest and play the run because our running game is doing its job, Tyreek Hill's gone. Touchdown. He's gone. You've got to establish the run against the Chiefs. You absolutely have to. So those are my 5 keys to a Miami Dolphins victory. Let's get into my final score prediction for this Sunday's game. Once again, last week, I absolutely nailed one of the scores from the game. I had Miami scoring 31. I had Dolphins winning 31-21. They won 31-17. That's 3 games in a row where I've correctly predicted one of the team's score. Also of note, if you haven't already, go watch the old video from May when I predicted the Dolphins schedule the day it dropped. I watched the video on the camera, went back through it, and predicted every single game. I am perfect through the first 8 games. 8-0. I had us at 6-2 with wins in the games we won and losses in the games we've lost. If you've watched that video, you know what I think happens. But if you haven't watched that video, spoiler alert, it's the Miami Dolphins weekend, baby. Hello, Germany. Hello, world. We are here. We are legit. No more cupcake schedule talk as your Miami Dolphins go into Frankfurt and they're bringing back a beautiful German winner. Miami Dolphins 27, Kansas City Chiefs 24. Your Dolphins are 7-2 going into the bye on top of the AFC, on top of the damn world. Let's make it happen. Don't be stupid. Play the game the way we can, and it's going to be hard for anybody to keep up with us. Let's go Dolphins. Fins up, baby, and we'll see you guys in the review video next week.